Richard Sennett, welcome to our 5 à 7. You are a sociologist, you're an urban planner, you're also an urban designer and a researcher. And you have taught at New York University and London School of Economics, and you are currently senior fellow at the Center on Capitalism and Society at Columbia University and visiting professor of urban studies at MIT. And your activities are numerous: teaching, designing projects in the USA and elsewhere in the world, mainly in Asia, writing books including Building and Dwelling, Ethics for the City, which has been translated into French as Bâtir et Habiter. And your work provides precious lessons for anyone interested in urban issues, driven by a sense of place, a sense of humanity, a sense of equity. More recently, you've returned to the theme of disorder with the book Designing Disorder, Experiments and Disruption in the City. That is very provocative, written with Pablo Sandra. And you currently serve as a senior advisor to the United Nations on its program on climate change and cities. And you've been very active for the COP26. Could you share with us your main proposals, your main messages in the difficult situation we are now confronting? In other words, could you help those of us who deal with these issues to be more proactive in our professional fields and possibly in each individual's personal life?
Well, you asked me a very small question.
Yeah.
My work on urbanism is always focused on one proposition, which is how to open up the city, how to make the city a more open system, and remove the kind of pressures and repressions that come from the city being a closed system. And what I mean by that is that an open system is experimental. It is not efficient, but it is explorative. It's not ruled by a single policy, but many policies, which are oftentimes in conflict. And in a city like that, complexity, rather than purity, is the dominant theme of planning. How to do many things, even though they may compete or conflict. And that is no more nor no less how the great writers on cities have depicted its culture in the past. Balzac, Proust, certainly. The notion for them was that what we want in a city is an experience of different ways of living and encounters with people who are very different from ourselves. We don't want, in other words, solidarity or community of a small scale. And that's evident to us in the culture of the city. It's unfortunately not been the case in planning, which has tried to simplify and make a kind of more efficient environment than people are disposed to live in their lives. It's the difference, if you like, with Le Corbusier, between the Corbusier who made the Plan Voisin in 1924, which is for a closed city, and the Corbusier after the Second World War, who was much more open to difference and diversity and complexity in the design both of buildings and of spaces. So that's basically the line that I have tried to follow as an urbanist, both in analyzing the city and in the various activities that I've had as a planner.
And what are your main messages after your work for United Nations for the future?
Well, I don't know if we have messages. We have prejudices, shall I say, which is that we are never going to be able to deal with climate change by a single plan or a single program, which uniformly reduces our impact on the climate. As you know, climate change it's entirely human-made, but the ways to deal with it are not uniform. And the error that people often make in thinking about what to do about climate change is to follow a single linear program for a reduction in climate change. I give you an example of this, that the use of solar panels in cities, this is a very particular example. What works in Paris will not work in Tunis. What works in Paris will not work in New York. And that's because they are differently situated, and both culturally and ecologically. But a lot of the planning that has been done has assumed that the use of these solar panels in one place is a kind of best practice for other places as well. So that's a kind of complexity I'd like to get in planning, with something that is much more specifically adapted to the places, different places where people live. Writ large, this is that what we ought to do in the global north is not the same thing as people ought to do in the global south. They have different interests, particularly in access to energy now that they need. They're not going to build nuclear power reactors, which are going to help them forward because they can't afford them. There have to be other strategies that are put in place for people who lack the kinds of resources that we have in the global north. So that is the kind of adaptive strategies that I and my colleagues are trying to pursue now.
Could you give us some reasons to be optimistic, especially in terms of solidarity, which is your focus? I mean, you've always been focused on solidarity, equality, poverty, and maybe this is one of the main issues for tomorrow.
I don't believe in solidarity. I believe in cooperation.
Okay.
Which is something very different. Solidarity is feeling that you are at one with someone else, that they are like you, you are all united together. Cooperation is in art. It's a way of working together with people who are different from you, who don't like even, don't understand, and so on. And that is the urban condition, that we're constantly in the presence of people who are other. And we have to learn how to manage that. I think people can do that. I'm quite interested in understanding how cooperation works, for instance, has worked, for instance, in the third world, in dealing with a pandemic. How people who are very similar, very different from each other, have worked together in places like Delhi or Johannesburg to share scant resources. And I am optimistic that we can learn how to cooperate with climate change, and particularly living in a dense environment full of different people, the ways that people in those third world cities have learned to cope with the scarcities that they face in dealing with the pandemic. I'm not by nature a very optimistic person, but I live in hope for this.
Thank you very much, Richard Sennett.